Hi, I was asked if I could do a video about my experience of being a Christian. I thought to myself, well, surely I can do that. I mean, I've been a Christian long enough. So I thought what I'd do is I'd talk about walking in the presence of God. So here we go. I hope you find it interesting or even helpful. My name is Steve Brown. I was born just before the Second World War. No, not the First World War, cheeky. And I was born in Balham in London, and my parents were, I suppose, what you might call lapsed Christians. No, lapsed churchgoers, that's more like it, I suppose. And so I knew they went to church because I saw pictures of them in their choir get-up, and so, but at any rate, I had a sister. She was 5 years older than me, and Mum and Dad sent us off to Sunday school. And it happened to be, the nearest one happened to be a Baptist church. So we went to the Baptist church and had some time there. I quite liked it in Sunday school. We had a really good teacher, Mr. Everett, his name was, and he used to invite us to tea at his house, and his wife used to make some brilliant cakes. Anyway, another thing that he did, which was really good, was he actually booked us in to go to a pantomime. Now, I'd never been to a pantomime before, didn't know what to expect, and there we were sitting in a really good seat. I must have paid a bit for the seats, and it was a pantomime, and I don't know what the pantomime was called, but it was, there was Tommy Cooper, that's him. Tommy Cooper was in it. I don't know if he was Buttons or what it was, but he was absolutely hilarious, He was in sketches, and honestly, you know how it is when you laugh and you laugh and you laugh until your sides ache, you think, oh, please don't make me laugh anymore. And that was the situation with me. I suppose, I don't know what I was, 10, something like that. And I get myself sorted, start looking back again, and he'd do something stupid and away I go again. At any rate, that was a good time going to Sunday school. I actually then joined the Boys Brigade. Now, Boys Brigade is a bit regimental, It's they check how clean your shoes are and how well you've polished your belt and things like that. And they get you marching. Well, they used to anyway. Get you marching up and down all the time, doing various movements up and down, but it was good. It was good. But it did mean I couldn't go to Sunday school anymore because they had Boys Brigade had their own Bible class. And whilst I was there, I decided that I wanted to be baptised. And so I was baptised, and my mum and dad came along to it. My dad hadn't been to church for ages, and afterwards he didn't go to church either. But Mum was a bit more keen. But at any rate, I was baptised. But looking back, I see it really much more of a sort of a head decision rather than a heart decision. I felt like to obey the rules. That was it. Just obey the rules, and that's it. That's what you should be doing. And so, at any rate, after that, I moved to Crawley, near Gatwick Airport, and I joined the Baptist church there because that's what I knew about, and joined the Baptist church there, and they were singing the same hymns as we sang up in Crawley. What was it? The Baptist hymnal, and we were singing those songs, and but. Yeah, anyway, it made me wonder about, his old songs are all right. But anyway, at that time, there were things called big bands. Do you know, I love big bands. People like Stan Kenton and Count Basie, Duke Ellington, people with fantastic names like Dizzy Gillespie, and and things like that. And they used to swing. Honestly, it was just wonderful. The sound. Well, there was another band. You know, I keep forgetting the name of it. They were actually started during the Second World War, and American band. And I keep forgetting the name of the leader. It was they played a thing called the Chattanooga Choo Choo. The fellow who was the band leader was killed in an airplane accident somewhere over the channel. I bet you're shouting out to me now what his name is. Could you shout again? Yeah, that's him. That's who it was, yeah. And at any rate, big bands, I just loved them. I mean, they'd had big bands in this country as well. There was Ted Heath, not the politician, and there was a Billy Cotton band show. That was that was good, and I've actually got hold of well, not all that recently, but a Robbie Williams CD, which was called "Swinging Whilst You're Winning." Fantastic. It was like backing bands for Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin and that sort of thing. I think, as far as I'm concerned, the nearest we got to that is the band that plays it in Strictly. God, they're beautiful, that band. I mean, I'm anyway. So, at that time, so yeah, that was my love. I joined the youth club in the church youth club, and there I was introduced to some scary people, girls. Don't know why I was scared of them. I mean, the thing was we didn't mix much with girls because we were always separated. But I finally got over that, and so in actual fact, I married one of the girls from the youth club, and we really enjoyed swing music together, and we decided that we would perhaps learn to jive. So we went some lessons, I suppose, learnt jiving, and loved it. We actually went on when we got engaged, we went to a dinner dance at Gatwick Airport. That was quite a small airport there, and they had quite a good band, and they were really swinging it. And so there was a lot of jivers up on the dance floor, and we got up with them, and then they said, right, we'll have a competition, and you know what, we won it. That was brilliant for our engagement, and but I was still actually living by the rules. I became an apprentice, and lots of the apprentices, they didn't live by the rules, not the rules I had at any rate. And it was very difficult, I found, to really mix properly when you've got so many such different things going on. So I suppose I did find it a bit isolating. But one thing which really I loved was football. I loved it. I loved playing football, and I actually played a few games for Crawley Town. That was long before they are in the leagues that they're in now. They've improved considerably since then. We were in the Sussex County League, and yeah, I always remember they used to supply us with shorts, and I tried the shorts on, and I went out to play. It blew me down if the elastic was very, very loose on them, so I was constantly trying to hold my shorts up whilst I was playing. But but at that time, the Beatles came on, Elvis Presley, lots of other pop groups came along, and they started writing their own songs. They didn't wait for a professional songwriter to write it, or a music producer to produce the music. They did it themselves. It made me think, well, why don't we have more modern hymns? Surely there are people around that that can write hymns who are lovely Christians. I mean, as I say, the Baptist hymnal was good, but surely there was. Anyway, so that's where I was, and then we moved to Lusley. Now, you know Lusley. It's obviously it's a lovely little village in Devon, just in Dartmoor, and we just joined the Baptist church there. It was just a natural thing to do, and so we joined the Baptist church, and when we were talking to some of the people from the Lusley Baptist church, they made us think that what we hadn't done was we hadn't understood that what we needed to do was unconditionally accept Jesus for who he was. Unconditionally understand he is the Son of God, and understand that we really wanted to follow him and be led by him. And you know, that was such a release. All these other bits and pieces that we've been huffing and puffing around, we just put them completely aside and we accept Jesus for what he was. It was a freedom. It was a freedom that we really enjoyed. And living in that freedom, Jan said, you know, there's a conference that going on that is a Christian conference for a week, and it's called Spring Harvest. Oh, we never heard of Spring Harvest. Anyway, she said, come on, let's go. So anyway, she booked us up for it, and we told David West, the Baptist minister at the time, that we're going there, and he used to pull our legs sometimes, say, look, there's a couple who are going to a spiritual knees up, and I mean, we didn't mind, but anyway, we took our son with us. It's a Prestatyn. It was actually a Butlins holiday camp, and we went there and didn't know what to expect. And we got there in the evening, or no, during the day, and in the evening there was a celebration. Well, we actually hadn't been to a celebration before, and we didn't know what to expect. And you know what? We came out of our chalet, and we walked down towards this huge tent. It was like a circus tent. From out of that tent came this wonderful sound. It was absolutely wonderful. It was a big band, and as we got nearer and nearer and nearer, we could hear people singing, and they were singing new songs. At that time, Graham Kendrick was around, producing some beautiful new songs, and they were singing. As we got there, you know, I can feel like goose pimples coming up already on my body. We actually entered into that place as if we were entering in to the presence of God. People were singing, arms lifted high, just praising God, just like we will do when we get to heaven. And it was such a wonderful experience, such a wonderful experience. And so life's gone on. We've become more and more aware of God's closeness to us. And we've begun to understand more and more and more that with the Holy Spirit in us, that has brought Christ in us. Christ is in us. Christ is in all those who have accepted Jesus for who he is. And so really we can now understand that we are continually walking in the presence of God. That's wonderful, isn't it? Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.